Hello everybody, Pinstripe here, and welcome to this Group A matchup between ADB and Iron Fox. Today we are moving through the three maps of Cold Front, Pigs in Space, and the Hillock. These two have met many times in the past, and going into this game, ADB will be looking to maintain his winning streak going into the playoffs because he is well and truly through regardless of the result, having gone with the 5 wins and the single draw in his previous game. Meanwhile, Fox is looking to secure his place in qualifying. Of course, for a lot of players so far this season, it has been a complex method of getting through, with the kind of final results of the final week coming into play for a lot of people. But it will be ADB to go first. Both of these players using significantly different lineups, but equally similar in their uses of scouts. We see 2 scouts on both sides and the usage of paratroopers, a medic on ADB side who will be going second. ADB getting the good spawn here on Cold Front to collect the self-heal, which will be vital in the later part of this game, I imagine. And we don't see this very often, actually, having the scout go first. So he already had that kind of pre-planned, I suppose. Looking for the poison. Not really any chance of a double here. I mean, I think he's going to go for it anyway to try and sort of flick it round the corner. That's not a bad move. And he does get it. I'm curious to know if that was pre-planned as well, but a perfect hit from ADB. A magical start to gain the self-heal and the double poison. Of course, we do have the single health crate, so one of them will be removed. I think if ADB had a bit more time, he maybe could have run down the hill, collected the health crate as well. I don't know, it may be a bit far-fetched, but in an ideal world you would have been able to collect the health crate and throw the poison at the same time. But Fox retaliating with the para. I suspect the reason he went with the double para as a decent hit for 34 was to do the same thing that ADB was doing. Whether or not he knew of that skip jump, I'd be surprised if he didn't know of it. But that's recently kind of been found by those of you who love to break my maps. I don't need to name names. I think we know who. But they are appreciated, and they do change up gameplay because it kind of cancels out the need for a paratrooper and kind of ensures that you have to be dead on with your first turn, because this is a slippery map. There are a lot of places where you can slip down, lose time, and this will be the second healing item collected from ADB. He has a huge advantage now. The scout with the self-heal, the medical darts, and the medic with the tranquilizer. I mean, looking at Fox's lineup, he has the single sapper, the 2 paras, and then the 2 scouts. So it's only really the sapper that can deal any kind of big damage. He can chain the jetpacks for sure, but right now he has to deal some kind of big damage. And of course there is way more pressure on Fox in this game, because if you did happen to catch ADB's kind of roundup of all the players, if Fox loses this game 2-0, then it will give Agar a chance to try and snatch it from Angorio during their game, which in turn could see the 2 go to a tiebreaker. It's all very close for both groups. Nothing is secure, effectively. And it's a decent 50, but it seems like Fox has got a huge uphill climb. I do not feel for him. This is a tough map to try and train for, and trying to figure out what the best method is. And I do really like ADB's approach. I think he could kind of suss out that Fox maybe wasn't going to bring a medic here. But even if he did, I mean, I'm enjoying the changes in strategy, I find. Not always having to go with the medic directly first. It just kind of leaves things a bit more open. The crates behind this scout haven't been collected yet. Bearing in mind that there are some decent weapons out there. And despite Fox bringing these scouts, he is not utilizing any of the poison onto that scout. Just going for damage, which It's not a bad move, but he has boxed himself in here, quite literally. I'm surprised ADB's just going to ignore the power. That's probably going to annoy him a bit, and makes him change course. That is unfortunate. You do hate it when that happens. Just a single slip can completely change the direction that you need to go in, and actually that has taken up a fair amount of time from ADB as well. The need for the pig to run back again. He just gets it away. Is he too close? He is. Takes too much self-damage. But considering the healing options available plus the med, I don't think it's going to bother ADB too much. So if we take a look back through the history between these two, of course last season they were in the same group as well. That match actually finished in a 2-2 draw, as you'll cast your minds back. But if you cast your minds back even further, these two actually met in the very first season of the Hogs of War League, and it was Iron Fox to take that game 2-1. That was back when we had a group of 10 players all in a single gigantic group. It was a crazy way of doing things, but it was certainly a way of setting the precedent. And of course learning a lot of things along the way, because nowadays we do not see a team of 5 sappers. Class restrictions and all the balancing involved has brought us up to this point, and Season 4 so far has been the closest across both groups. Initially Group B was deemed the group of death, but I don't know, it's been crazy for both, and ADB just gets the rocket away and almost groups them together if that wasn't for a slightly lucky bounce. But this gives Fox an opportunity to take down one of the powers if he's quick enough. He just needs the 2 jetpacks. This is where he needs to rely on his patience. It's very easy to detonate the jetpack too soon and end up damaging yourself. So, ooh, that's also a decent move. Ooh, that is a very nice move. But he needs to make sure he doesn't... Okay, he's going straight up. I didn't see the angle. But he's making sure that he is well away from the blast radius. And we won't know how much it is, because I think the number will have disappeared by the time we come back down. But he's also going to land on the tree, I think. Just for the hell of it. Deary me. So there is a chance to heal. He's got the scout closest to him, so that plus 20 will do wonders. And it's very demoralizing again for Iron Fox right now. If it was me, I would be sort of playing at 50% capacity, where it's like you kind of know that you've already lost just based on your lineup and that it's not the strongest. But I am curious to know, I'm sure he'll let us know in the comments, what his plan was with the double power. Because he obviously had something in mind. Was it to collect their self-heal? I don't know. But I would like to know. And now we have more healing going on. I think he's going to look for the paratrooper that took the 40. So ADB sitting comfortable. As much as that is a meme, it is true. So removes the damage dealt from Fox's last turn. And yeah, he is not looking healthy. Sapper now down to 75 HP. The med's still on the charge. The scout is up and healthy. The power is back to where he was. Like, but at least he stood on a tree, right? You've got to take the positives. And there is a possibility of grouping up, but this will basically kill that sapper. So the explosive barrel damage was very nice, and I'm not entirely sure what Fox's thinking is here. I thought he'd be placing it closer to the other side so he could group it up, push him towards his own pig, but I don't know, maybe he's keeping him there for a reason. And that does make the crate available, which I'm sure ADB will now go ahead and collect. He doesn't want to allow any healing for Fox. Removes that entirely. And I think he can just poison, continue to poison. He's kind of got everybody where he needs them to be. Just poison the dude in the tree or the other scout. because I'm sure he's not forgetting about him. Yeah, he knows where he is. That's a little bit scary. But what's even scarier is seeing that the scout is still on full health. You're now poisoned. And, I mean, I guess Fox kind of has his hands tied. Because he avoided the poison last time because the medic could just come and heal it. So he chose to deal the extra damage instead. And dropping this guy down to 25 is a good move. It puts him in poison range, but at the same time, this guy can just fly closer to his medic to get more heals. So, yeah, I'm really struggling to see what Fox can do from this. I think you really need to deal with the medic early. I mean, Fox has been dealing damage with the paratroopers, but it's like you can use one of them to break up the MOMA, or at least try and nudge the medic in the other direction. And ADB can afford to deal damage on himself again to get him down from the tree and kill himself in the process. All for the sake of damage, so yeah. It's the poisons that are proving effective. The scout down to 90. And taking the high route. I think he's just got to, yeah, just start to damage the med. I mean, considering, I don't know, if I was ADB, I'm just trying to work it all out in my head as to what the best approach is here. Because you do not want that paratrooper to take his turn. So I think the next body block is when he needs to move away. And he can't quite get the right place for the jump. It's very finicky, which is what I was mentioning earlier, and that you kind of have to be on the ball from the get-go. And just as I say that, my goodness, almost slipping down. Just goes for the single hit instead. Keeps him up there as well, so body block's pretty nice. But this is where I would look to try and break up the Mopa right now. Because, yeah, you need to be dealing damage on the medic as much as you possibly can. And these slippery tiles are proving pretty finicky for Fox. He's got a lot of low health pigs now, or at least pigs that are poisoned. And he's not forgetting about the scout. So that will be a full 40. And this is where ADB can do some heals if he has some time. I think he might be a bit too far away, yeah, so I would keep the distance. Oh, okay, he's going for it anyway. If he can make it back, I mean, maybe he's going up the top instead, which is also not a bad move because he can make it back again, but he's also got to make sure that he keeps the distance and gets the tranquilize. Because you don't want to be body blocking. But maybe he's already down to the point. No, it's that single slip, and this is where Fox can retaliate here. He's got all 3 jetpacks to use, and he can get the skip turn. He can put the pressure back on ADB, and that's how a single skip can change the game. I guess that's what he was banking on, is this paratrooper doing all the damage. Yeah, I'd just go for the other jetpack, but no, it's a little bit too indecisive. It's a little bit indecisive, and he's going with the cattle prod, so yeah. Wee bit of self-damage, but the med is dead. And the bar actually says Fox is a tiny bit in front here. So, oh yeah, that poison from earlier down to 55. I would honestly just go for the snipe from there. Body block and snipe. That's a nice move. It does have heals as well, so that scout should have been the target from the get-go. If we're going to assign primary and secondary targets, primary should have been the med, secondary should have been either the scout or the sapper that had the medical darts, but I don't know. Approach has been sort of all over the place, and it's easy to sit here and judge, but when you're in the heat of the game, it is It's just crazy. And Cold Front being so new from the Fortification Update Day 2, it is proving, I feel, to be a fairly balanced competitive map. Maybe there are some changes we need to make. Maybe try and find some hills that cannot be found without a jetpack, but either way, Fox avoids the skip, damages his para just a tiny bit. But that actually kind of does him some good, because that now makes that paratrooper a low health pig that ADB has to deal with in some capacity. So whether or not there's an opportunity here for maybe a double, I'm not sure. I can't remember where that scout is, because his head jumps is just annoyingly too much. If it was 3, then maybe, but with the slipperiness as well, it's really not helpful for ADB right now. So he's going to say, screw it. I'm going to remove you. And actually, no. He's going to go for the skip turn. Oh, no. Tries to get the bounce back, but it rolls around. Oh, so unlucky. But he's got 2 poison pigs. And it's funny, you look at the mini-map and it doesn't look like there's anybody on ADB's team. It's just Fox. It is 2v4, so Fox does have the pig power, but I think with the possibility of a skip turn, which will then allow ADB to take down the paratrooper, which I'm sure he's going to do in this next turn. I mean, this guy's down to 10 as well. Okay, so he's going to probably stick with him. You can't get the head jumps, man. That's not with that much health. He does have the healing options, though. He's going to go for damage instead, which is also not bad, because he can kind of bank on, again, getting that skip on the other pig, who's on 34. He just needs a grenade launcher. And, yeah, the health pools here are insane. They're all so low, and it's just, this guy is 2 hits away from dying. Fox has got to make sure that he kills this dude, but at the same time, ADB can pick up the healing items. There's just a lot of factors that, despite Fox having the additional pigs, just aren't going to work in his favor that well. If the skip turn wasn't involved here, it would be a huge advantage to Fox, but because ADB can go ahead and get that skip, it will allow him to finish off the paratrooper, and then, well, he's going to do it with head jumps anyway. So I guess at least 2 head jumps here? Yeah. And then he's going to go... Avoids the head jump on his own pig as well. That was pretty nice. Seems he's going to just dish out damage instead, which is equally as good. That single 50 will kill that scout. And that makes it a 3v2. So 3 head jumps needed. And it will be the other guy's turn now. No, it's not the other guy's turn yet. He's still waiting to take his turn. So that 30 HP is still sat there. And I know for a fact that ADB will be looking at that and being like, yep, I'm going to get me a skip turn. Homing missiles are not what Fox would have wanted. If that was medical darts or even a self-heal, that would have been huge. But he's got to make sure that he gets some damage here. This is an incredibly tight angle. That is so close and perfectly done for the 38. So instead of attempting the head jumps, he's going to use his injured pig to get as close, I imagine, to this other pig before pulling out his grenade launcher. And that single skip will then allow him effectively to finish this round in the next 2 turns. It is indeed possible. He just needs to be accurate here. That looks good to me. Should have it in the bag, which he does. And if I know ADB, I'm pretty sure he has this one in the bag now, as long as he can ace the head jumps. But even then, considering that this guy, I don't think ADB is going to let us see the health pool. Nope, he's not forgetting about the dude in the tree either, who I'd completely forgotten about. But he's down to 15, so there's another skip potential there as well. That's just even worse for Fox. So do you just look to grenade launch yourself and try and deal 50? I don't know. I would have gone for some head jumps on ADB's pick maybe, but I feel like that's too little too late. He's going to go with the poison gas. That's not a bad move either. That's 35 damage plus a 10 on his next turn, so 45 plus being poisoned is equally as good. It is. This is just too close to tell right now. I do not know. And all ADB needs to do here is get back to where he needs to be and take out the paratrooper. At which point it should all be fine and dandy. Which it is. As long as he can get the shot away. Plenty of time in the bag. As the paratrooper falls. And so ends round 1. ADB takes it. That was a close one right to the end. The other scout finishing on 27 HP and poison. So Fox not too far away. But we move on to Pigs in Space. So welcome back everybody to round 2. We move on to Pigs in Space. You can see ADB is going with the Med, Gren, the Gunner, Scout and a Para. So using his final Scout, and you can see Fox is doing the same while also bringing a Medic and Grenadier, but 2 Gunners. Once again, slightly confused, but I imagine he's kind of saving the stronger lineup for last, which sometimes can backfire on you if you don't take the first round. If you're banking on kind of rounds 2 and 3 kind of being the strongest, you have to sort of ensure that you win the first round, and considering that that didn't happen, Fox is on the back foot. But he does have the Med, he does have the Gren, and he does have the first turn advantage, so he needs to make sure that he gets there in one piece, gets the body block and can start damaging. But the 2 Gunners is where I'm really somewhat confused. Maybe he's looking at getting the good spawns so he gets the high towers, possibly, I don't know, but it's a tricky one. Pigs in Space of course is new, or at least the newer version of it, as we start things off with the Med on the small tower, and I'm sure he's going to be looking around to see where the Medic is at. And he is in the corner, so he does have a fair way to go, and you do need to kind of back up and go behind yourself. I'm confused as to what is happening. Okay, he's not going for any body blocks, he's hunkering down and hoping for the best, but ADB will be looking to remove that tranquilizer. If anything, he's pushed him a tiny bit closer to him. He can just remove it, he can deal the damage on himself. He's not going to matter because he can remove it. He can get the MoMA switch up in the first turn. Wow. So, indecisive again from Fox. Unsure on whether to go for it. He could have gone for it if he'd have looked, seen where the Medic was from the get-go, and then started swimming, or ran behind him, because there is a smaller way to go, but it is safer and you reduce the water damage that you take. But overall, he has now lost the MoMA, and going into the next few turns, that is going to be vital for ADB. But it does come back around to the Grenadier. So thankfully for Fox, ADB doesn't retaliate in the same way. They could have both tranquilized both of their Grenadiers if they'd wanted to. But instead we now have a congregation of the 2 most important pigs in multiplayer. And Fox, again, looking to dish the first hit onto the Grenadier, and indeed push him closer. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but worked out pretty well. He's partially body blocking, but also ensuring that he's not too close to the other Med. As the Gren's now down to 48, so he is a single hit away from being taken out of this game, but ADB turning his attention to the Scout. Not the best hit with the Closser. Now this is what I'm interested to see. Can Fox make the hits with his Gunners? I'm confused. I'm even more confused on the position here, but He is going to play it safe. And... okay. I'm just a little confused as to what he was hoping for there. Maybe he's just trying to avoid the bad position so that there's no sort of double poisons or double hits or anything. Again, Fox, if you can confirm in the comments, that'd be great. That could be great. I don't know. But ADB is also bringing the single gunner, but his overall lineup is a lot more diverse. So the single gunner, the single scout, and the single para. There's no doubles of anybody. And I think generally that's going to play out better for him, so long as he can maintain his right focus, because here he's not going to care about his med. He has the tranquilizer intact anyway, so the triple damage on everybody, plus everybody falling in the water, and the double spin. Iron Fox's medic shunting him out of the way for a single hit. But they actually maintain the body block as well, so that's even better for ADB right now. That's very, very lucky, if I'm honest. So Fox is going to maintain, I think, hits onto the scout, who is a single pixel away from the water's edge, so I imagine he's looking for that flamethrower. Yeah, so there is potential for a kill here if he can get the right angle. And that looks pretty good to me. That is going to be a ton of damage, but is it enough to get the kill? No, so the scout will have an opportunity here to deal out some poison. Now, how much health was he on? I wasn't paying attention. ADB is quickly on the move. And he is backing it up to make sure that he makes it in time, because I suspect he's going to try and get the triple poison on both the Gren and the two medics. He can't avoid hitting himself. Oh my goodness, that was so close. How much health is he on? And will he even get this shot away? He's on 3 HP. And he's going to blindly throw it around the corner, hoping that it rolls around. And is it enough? No. Can it come back around? I don't think so. That's not enough time. That is unlucky. It was a good maneuver, but sadly comes up empty-handed, no poison, and that will allow Fox to do the same thing. Maybe even a double, but again, because the medic is there and he's a threat, he can remove one of them. I would honestly just go ahead and kill the medic. Take out the med. Remove the threat of your pigs. And again, this is a very strange decision here, if I'm honest. He goes for the body block and damage instead, but onto the gunner of all people. I don't know. It seems very, very hectic right now for Fox, I think. Decision making and running out of time playing a huge factor, but ADB is cool, calm and collected, if I'm honest. I mean, even with missing the poison, I think just the fact that he has the MoMA in his hands right now, so he can just focus down the Grenadier, is perfect. And it does put him within poison range. Oof. And the extra damage, yeah, 23. So there's the skip. The other medic is on 54. Show yourself. I still can't see how much health he's on. Alright, there we go. Okay, so he's on a healthy amount. So the med is easily going to live. But I'm just confused as to Fox's decisions on not going for any kind of poison on the med. Like, yeah, okay, you very much risk hitting your own medic, but it's worth it when you've already lost the MoMA. And now that your Grenadier is down to 3 HP, 3 head jumps away and a skip turn. So 2 skips in a row, it's very brutal. Even though for some reason the bar says that Fox is miles ahead, I think that's purely based on health. Because, yeah, okay, the 2 gunners are very healthy, but they are both gunners. So unless he can pull off a miracle here, I don't know. The damage has got to be... the damage output generally has got to be massive, but this is going to be a huge help for ADB. He's going to body block, I think, yeah, the other gunner, and he needs to get a solid hit on this other guy because he is on full health. So the health alone could be a huge advantage to Fox, so I guess that was kind of playing it safe, but it will ensure at least 75 damage there. Down to 59. Disgusting. But the other gunner's on 125 HP, so he is still healthy, but Fox needs to get these 3 head jumps because he can't afford to... No, he's not going for it. He can't afford any kind of poison, so maybe he's going to look to body block and then just outright kill the scout, but... No, he's going for the flamethrower. I mean, that's also not a bad move. But again, the position here... No, the position of both of them. I mean, I guess the Gren is going to die anyway, right? So if that... Okay, he's going to die outright here. That's fair enough. But now he's going to take an additional 20. So that's 25 damage onto the gunner. And that still puts him within poison range. But ADB has now got to flip his attention onto the... Oh, he is going for the scout. Okay, so he's leaving the med. He's going just for straight damage. And I suspect he's going to try and take out the medic for his next turn. Because if Fox is able to get any kind of healing, then that is going to be massive. And that is a perfect... Oh, he's gone the other way! He does live, so there is still a chance for poison, but... No, that was a brutal mortar. He didn't even spin, he spun around rather than just swimming right ahead. He spun around and went the other direction. But... If I know Fox, he should get these head jumps away fairly easily. And that will allow him to turn his attention onto the Grenadier. But sadly, no more flamethrowers, so he has got to make sure that he gets this on target. Sometimes full power isn't the best option, especially when you're trying to nudge pigs into water. Because, yeah, instead... Okay, that was lucky because he slipped off. And that was lucky because he's not dead. You've got to feel for Iron Fox here. He jumps on the head of a pig 3 times to kill him. Deals damage on the other dude, who then ends up on 3 HP as well. What are the chances? But there's a possibility here for ADB to get a double kill and effectively seal this game. There's the kill on the gunner. That was very cleanly done. And with the med landing on the other side, using the water trick as well, and not caring about damaging himself, he gets the double, kills the medic, and it is now a 3v2. And yet again the bar is marginally in the middle. But Fox now needs to utilize poison. There's been a distinct lack of it because of the MoMA, but now that that's gone, he has his eyes transfixed on the paratrooper, but I am confused as to why he did not look for any kind of body block there. He could have done the Pegasus move, could have ensured that extra damage could come onto the paratrooper. But this is nice play actually from ADB. If you don't trust your aim that much, or at least the amount of power that you're using, you can kind of use that failsafe of the cluster of not getting damage on the first explosion, but the second one comes down directly above the head of the pig that you're targeting and just ensures damage. So that is really nicely done. And we're going to see more head jumps here, which have got to be done very quickly because there's only 10 seconds remaining. Backwards head jumps as well, that's decent, but he's going to maintain the body block now and he needs to get this shot away. He's trying to deal damage onto the paratrooper and it's got to be good. Power looks decent. I think that's a little bit short. No, it's perfect. Is he dead though? He's gone the long way. Oh my god, this could be a skip. No, he doesn't make it. That is so unlucky. But he does get the kill, so it now it comes down to gunner v gunner effectively. I mean, the Grenadier is near enough dead, so maybe ADB can get the extra damage from his own pig's death to kill the gunner. It is possible, and that is a very nicely placed one, and he falls as well, so that will be extra damage. Only 6, it's not a massive amount, but it's now 11 and 11 versus 57. So, What am I going to do is the question. If I was Fox here, I would... Oh my goodness. I would just go for poison. Wouldn't you? Or effectively, he could just... As long as he deals damage here, he can win. Oh, he's on 80. I thought he was on 57. Oh, that would have been much closer because I thought he was 2 hits away. I mean, 47, still not bad, but considering the distance between the two, yeah, the scout won't have enough, regardless of where he is, unless he can get over to him and suicide. I honestly don't think it will be enough. Because he can get the draw. It is possible to jump across and make it, but you have to jump at a very specific point. And Fox is not going to do that. Is he going to just hide? I think he's... Because he knows he can't do enough damage. So he's just going to bank on ADB not hitting the shot, because ADB will now be down to 7, so he can't swim. So ADB has to make this shot in order to win. He's effectively calling his bluff, but he stood out in the open, and he's on 11 HP. So ADB just has to get it up the hill. Just has to make sure he's accurate to take this 2-0, to go undefeated into the playoffs. He does, and Fox has lost this game by the skin of his teeth. If that paratrooper had made it and he'd have gotten the skip turn, I feel like that would have gone to Fox that round. But ADB takes it. 2-0 it is. He goes through. 6 wins, 1 draw. Absolutely insane. And Fox is now going to be 3-3. So Aga's result, if he does take it 2-0 against Angurio, then that could mean a tiebreaker. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Can indeed join us for the rest of the fixtures for this week. And I'll catch you all later for the next one.